Howdy crypto friends, we're going to check in on the major names and then look at TRX, EOS, BAB, and then BCH as dictated by member votes. So we got another leg down on the vast majority of coins, and we played the zoom out game for the last 2 days where again, we zoom out, look at the 15-minute exponential moving average resistance. If we get over it, we look at the hourly. If we get over it, we look at the 4-hour. And the 4-hour continued to be a brick wall of resistance for the vast majority of names. Here is Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We just traded literally straight across while waiting for that exponential resistance to catch up. We kissed it and then dropped down for another leg down. So if we zoom in for the shorter term details, we can see that Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame, or actually let's look at the hourly, but it was clear to me that the action was dictating that we were likely seeing bots trigger, sell bots. Look at this resistance on Coinbase, 36.45. double top, and then a lower high by less than $4. So what this tells me with 4 rejections in just about a day's worth of time is that anytime we hit a price, let's say it's 36.40, when 36.40 is hit, that triggers a alert for these bots to start selling. And the reason that we don't break that resistance is not because someone is manually sitting on their computer and selling their coins every time we get close to that resistance. It's because these bots are programmed to sell whenever we got towards that level and knock the price back down. So we've seen a lot of wicks with lower wicks of bulls buying the dip, lack of any follow through for the bulls, but consistently defending support before finally rolling over and not being able to absorb that selling pressure and seeing another leg down. So that was the most important level short term, 36.45, because if the bulls have enough pressure to get over that level, that perhaps triggers a program in those bots to maybe stop selling at this level and to back off. And then we would have seen the bulls potentially run with it a little bit, but obviously that did not end up playing out. So it's worth recognizing, just seeing that many times, you can say, okay, this is clearly a very important level that traders are going to be watching and that bots are going to be programmed to. And if we don't get over it, the bears keep complete control that they already have. So with this new leg down, the RSI is back to oversold on the hourly and the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour exponential resistance continues to be our guide. As long as that is resistance, the bears have complete control, and now anything under that 36.45 level is just a lower high on the 4-hour time frame. So continuing to watch the exponential resistance, we zoom out to the daily time frame. We broke our low of support of 35.67, and we're now in an area with no support until the low that we've seen of 31.29. So a lot of space for the bears to work with. They're extremely comfortable. There's no pressure whatsoever on those bears. If and when we do get over the 4-hour exponential resistance, we play the zoom out game and we look to the daily chart, and we're going to look for a daily lower high compared to our recent high above 4,000, and we're going to watch the daily exponential resistances. So again, just knowing what to be looking for, these exponential resistances have been a great guide just in terms of, should I start paying attention to the bulls? And this entire pullback, the answer in my opinion has been no, because we haven't been able to see any progress over those exponential resistances. So bears still in full control, no sign of the bulls at this point, tightening up down here, but it's entirely possible we just play this sideways game yet again. And here we start with the zoom out game yet again. So 15-minute exponential resistance. If we get over it, we zoom out to the hourly. We will then watch the hourly exponential resistance. It's the exact same game that we just played since the last leg down, and we'll watch these exponential moving averages to be our guide. Checking in on ETH, the daily time frame, inside bar bear break. The bear break signal went off at 123.40 on this inside bar, and we're now looking down at 112.26 as the next support level. We have not broken that yet. Bitcoin has broken its daily support with no support nearby under it, but Ethereum has not yet. So again, Ethereum has a lot more space to work with before we drop to its low of $80. That Bitcoin does not have that kind of space to work with. Right now, Bitcoin pretty much a 10% drop, and we're going to be looking at lower lows on the daily, a little bit more than that, perhaps 12% or so. And here on ETH, we would need to see about a 25-30% drop to get down to that 80-60 low. So 112.26 is currently support, and then we would enter an area that is void of daily support levels established, similar to where Bitcoin currently stands. Litecoin on the daily time frame, and actually let's just zoom in on Ethereum, 4-hour exponential resistance. Everything that we just said for Bitcoin applies to Ethereum here as well, unable to get over that resistance, and now we play the EMA zoom out game just like we did the previous sideways consolidation. Litecoin on the daily chart, a little bit of a fake out where the inside bar broke bullish, but Bitcoin saw no sign for the bulls. Ethereum saw no sign for the bulls. So got to take that with a grain of salt when it happens on just an individual coin. and it ended up being a little bit of a bull break. We didn't get over many resistances, and then, of course, the dump in conjunction with Bitcoin. 4-hour exponential resistance, grinding the price, pushing it down, spike in bear volume on the new leg down, and we'll continue watching these exponential resistances on all time frames as the bulls attempt a short-term oversold bounce. The daily chart for Litecoin here still has supports as well, and a lot more space to work with. Support is down at 29.11 and 27.48 for the bulls to keep some control. Again, much more space to work with. And if we're looking at weekly time frames for these major few names here, can Bitcoin form a weekly higher low and then change this trend? Yes. Is it likely? No. So that's a possibility. But again, we look at Ethereum. Bitcoin's going to break on the weekly to lower lows before Ethereum does, very likely, because of how much space Ethereum bulls have to work with. And they're still attempting a weekly higher low. But we have to see significant recovery and significant shift on the daily time frame back to the bulls sometime this week in order for the possibility of a weekly higher low to be set. XRP, weekly time frame, inside bar, bear break. Very clear signal to act on. 332 breaking was the bear break, and we pushed down a 3% plus drop. We have no daily support until 285 here, so we are already entering the lack of support range. And the 4-hour exponential resistance knocked the price down. Bear volume spike, same as everybody else, and now we're back to playing the exponential resistance game on all time frames. Bears extremely comfortable on all of these major names. And again, no sign of any of that momentum shifting. And when it does shift, we're going to have to see a 4-hour trend change and get over the 4-hour exponential resistances to prove anything and to attract any kind of attention of the bulls to show that we have some sentiment shifting in the short term. TRX USD, volume climax with the big upper wick showing the top. We've now pulled back every day since then. The inside bar on the daily broke bearish with significant follow through at this point. And the daily uptrend to maintain higher lows is down at 19.2. If 19.2 can hold, it's actually 19.13. If 19.13 can hold, bulls do keep the daily uptrend in their favor, but with the size of the pullback that we've seen since the high at this point, we know that if we bounce, we're just going to form a daily lower high as a very likely scenario and have a tightening daily range. So it's worth keeping an eye out for the momentum shift here. After such a significant shift in momentum from the bulls back to the bears, but it's looking like we are certainly correlated with Bitcoin. The big bear volume here was the red flag compared to the bull volume on the way up, and we've certainly seen significant pullback since that big red volume to drop another 10% plus. So bears are still in full control here, but it's worth watching for a 4-hour trend change because the daily bulls are going to try and defend this support down in the 19s, the low 19s. EOS USD, daily inside bars broke bearish. Bit of a bear flag on the daily chart. The bear break was 242. We dropped down a significant leg down here as well. Support of 230 broke, and we are in an area with a lack of any daily support. So same thing as everybody else, the 4-hour time frame, exponential resistance rejected the price. We're still watching exponential resistance levels on any bounce attempts, and on the daily chart, we will then watch daily exponential resistance if the bulls can get over the 4-hour. BAB USD, daily time frame has been consolidating for a month plus at this point. Clear, tight pattern, almost a daily equilibrium, broke bear a few days ago with the Bitcoin bear break, and now a bear flag confirming to continue this pullback. We have no support nearby. No support was established on the way up. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, exponential resistance kept a cap on things. Look how many times we rejected before the bears took over. We're still watching that exponential resistance. And if I had to find a support level nearby, I'd use the 4-hour and look at 126 as a support level. And we actually even broke that level. So I would then look down to 114.30 as the next level after that. This is a pattern on the weekly time frame where we had a very short-term bull move up. Now we're trying to form a weekly higher low, but the amount that we have given back from that 1-week bull move is certainly a red flag. We've given back over 2/3 of that bull move, so not keeping the progress that the bulls want to see on a weekly trend change. So bears in full control, bear flag confirmed, and now anything under 140 is just a lower high on the daily time frame. BCH, ABC, USDT, also a bear flag on the daily, also a lack of any daily support. As soon as we broke 139.20, our next support level nearby is nowhere nearby on the daily time frame. So bear flag confirmed, 4-hour exponential resistance, just like everybody else. And now we're watching those exponential resistances into tomorrow as the hourly exponential resistance is going to be in play. Daily time frame now, anything under 136 is just a lower high. And checking the weekly time frame with the size of the bounce that we saw, we will look for a higher low to form. But again, similar to BAB, where the amount of the pullback that we've seen from that 1 week bull move is a red flag. We've given back over 2/3 of that move, and there's no sign that we're finding a higher low yet, as we're down at the low of this current week. BCH, if we're comparing these two, BCH ABC to BCH SV, there was a weaker bounce and less volatility. It's looking like BCH SV is the more volatile name, just because the low here, we saw a bounce from 71 up to 86. That's a very significant 20% bounce, whereas on ABC, the bounce was from 125 to 136. That's less than a 10% bounce. So over twice the size of that little daily bounce there, and still holding on. We have not broken to lower lows of 71.30. So a little bit of short-term strength relative to BCH ABC. New resistance is 86.43, which was still a daily lower high. We're still forming those daily lower highs, but holding on a little bit better as far as the last 2-3 days are concerned than BCH ABC currently is. 4-hour time frame, we got over that exponential resistance, so that's obviously a big difference, where this is the least correlated name with everybody else that we just looked at. The 4-hour time frames look the same, not the case for BCH SV. So if I were looking for something to trade independently that wasn't correlated with everybody else, BCH SV would have my attention, as it can certainly do its own thing to a certain degree. So again, be very patient if you're bullish. There is no reason to jump in at these levels, and there's no reason to try and nail the bottoms. We're going to wait for weekly trend changes for the signal that the bulls are back in control. That's not happening anytime soon, and the bears have full control on every time frame that I can see right now. From the weekly still in a downtrend, the daily chart lost the higher lows, the 4-hour trend obviously can't get over exponential resistance, just saw another leg down, and so on and so forth the whole way down the line. So congrats bears, keeping it easy for those bears the last week or so of trading. I appreciate you all watching. Hope you do good things. Hope you had a good weekend out there. It's really cold out there. Again, a reminder to, if you're living in a more populated area, go to Goodwill, get some coats and blankets and keep them in the back of your car. You never know someone who could use them. I've certainly handed out many over the years in all different kinds of scenarios, from hats to gloves to blankets. And it's always nice to be able to just give those away when you find someone who needs them. So that's that little message here at the end of the day that I posted on the YouTube channel about balance and flow, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Hey everyone, hope you're having a good weekend. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about the flow state. We've talked about this in the past with the video I did with NeuroGal a while ago. But for those who are not aware, the flow state is pretty much when you're in the zone doing something. It feels like you're meant to be doing this. It doesn't require a whole lot of thought. It's flow state, exactly what it sounds like. So for me, I experience flow state when I pull charts up on the screen and I press record. That's all freestyle. That's all just naturally feels comfortable for me to do. I experience when I trade. I experience when I'm farming, whether I'm just sitting there doing a monotonous task of weeding or something like that. When I'm playing ping pong, when I am rock hopping on a river, those are all those are all experiences where I'm feeling in the zone, I'm good at it, and I don't have to do a whole lot of thinking. It's very natural, whether it's muscle memory, but things like that that I'm used to doing and I'm good at doing it. So the inspiration for making this video and talking about flow state is talking with a friend of mine who is learning trading, but he was expressing how he had gotten away from his flow state and it had been a while that he had felt it. And the reason for that is because he's learning trading. It's this new experience. It's very difficult and you get a lot of frustration and you're not going to be good at it right away. And you're not going to be experiencing that flow state until you're doing it for years and you've put in thousands of hours. So for his example, he's a massage therapist and he took time away from that practice, which is where he feels his flow state when he's working on other people's bodies and in that energetic zone that he gets in. And so he was doing less of that and a lot more of trading. And that can get you in a negative feedback cycle where, you know, you can get down on yourself. This is frustrating. I should be getting this by now. And it's important that we experience moments in our lives where, you know, we feel productive and we feel useful and we feel like we're doing what we're meant to be doing. So his experience and reflection on it was, now that he's going more back towards that massage therapy and feeling that flow state, he's recognizing that that was a void in his life while he was trading. So it's just balance as always, trying to maintain that balance in our lives. While it is important to put in a ton of time and effort into technical analysis and learning trading, we can't disregard the other aspects of our lives that bring us joy, because again, that gets us in this one-sided negative, frustrating space, as opposed to going and doing something that you excel at and you feel confident in and comfortable, and then with that fresh mindset coming back to, you know, have an invigorated new outlook on the more frustrating skill that you're not good at just yet. So, you know, learning to play ping pong as an example, you're not going to be doing very well, and it's going to take a while to get the hand-eye coordination and the speed of the game. But then if you do it for 10,000 hours, you're a ping pong master and you don't even think about it and don't even look at the ball. So it's important, the bottom line, maintain that balance and keep doing things in your life that bring you joy and that you are good at, because you don't want to always be doing things that keep you frustrated. So that's the tip. I appreciate his insight, and hopefully that insight can give you all a little bit of a glimpse in terms to how to better balance your life as well, and make sure that you're doing things that are not chart or technical analysis related and that you enjoy.